Hi, loves. We are talking about the split in worlds and the new world coming in through us. And I want to give you an example of how I really jumped very clearly from one dimension into the other while I was sitting with other people. And this is an exercise that you can do yourself and see if it can happen for you too, because it's fun to do and it is fun to trick the matrix and see if we can pop through. Okay, so I will give you the example of what I did, and then you will know exactly how to apply it in your life. Right. I was in Cape Town, in Fishhoek, in the vehicle license renewal department, which is a very like a state department, and it's a bit run down. And it was shortly after COVID. It was understaffed. We still had to wear masks, and there was a very long queue of people all the way out the building, sitting outside on these crummy little. I was sitting outside in the queue on these crummy little plastic chairs. There were like signs falling off the wall. Everyone was in a bad mood. We like everyone's irritated because you have to wait for hours. The system is not working great. The floors are dirty. The paint's coming off the walls. It's like, it's horrible. If you say this to a South African vehicle license renewal department, they're like, oh, okay. So it's clearly like like not a cool environment, but not traumatic, but just boring and gross. Anyway, so I wasn't even trying to do something, and this is one of the tricks. Don't expect an outcome, which is now tricky. I'm trying you to do this to shift, but the trick is not to expect any specific outcome. So you can just do this as a game when you find yourself in places where you have to wait for a while, maybe in a queue or in the doctor's office or whatever. So I was sitting there in the queue in my chair, and then I just for fun decided to do my own little fun meditation, and because I'm a body person, I made it a physical meditation. I closed my eyes, and then I imagined like a little army of ants under my skin. I call them my little army of pleasure ants, and they're about little army of ants, and they take up so much space. And then I had them running inside my skin, like over my scalp, down my spine, down my legs, to my toes, all the way up my legs again to the front, over my belly, my shoulders, all the way down my arms. So I'm having like a secret little fun bliss moment. Nobody knows. My eyes are closed. I'm just sitting still. Meanwhile, I'm having such a good time. I'm having like pleasure all over my body. And I do this meditation for about 5 minutes, just for fun, like all over my face, my scalp, all the way to my fingertips. Oh, it feels so good, feels so good. And I opened my eyes, and to my surprise, I was in another reality. I could see that I had not physically shifted anywhere else. I was still in exactly the same space, but what happened is my perception changed. The way I was seeing my environment changed completely. As I was sitting there I can remember it so clearly. I can almost feel it, and that's the thing. One actually feels it. So there was this golden stream of light coming in from the one side, and it had this beautiful edge to it. And inside this light, there was like little pieces of dust just magically like twirling about, little particles. There was a breeze just whipping around all of our bodies and just touching us gently. The space between all the people and the objects was like perfect. There was a plant next to me with the most beautiful green leaves, and they were glistening and showing different shades of green, and some places the sun was shining through, and then a little bird just like was jumping around and like singing on this branch. And I was like, oh my word, I'm sitting in heaven. And I looked at the people around me and I could see that they were still in the vehicle license renewal department. But I was also in the vehicle license renewal department, but it was the heaven version of it. And it felt like, it's like you'll be standing on the one foot and you just stand on the other foot. And everything is just different. And since that experience, I've had these experiences every now and again, and every time it is this simple thing of just simply feeling my body, and specifically feeling like fun or bliss or pleasure in my body, and specifically all over my body, head to toe, everywhere. It helps to sort of surrender into this new state of being. And it's our state of being possibly comes from inside, from an inner vibration that we tune into another vibration with our bodies, and then it shifts. So what I felt there in the vehicle license renewal department was what people would call the shift in the earth, the split in dimension. Is this thing where they say two people will sit at the same table and the one will be in heaven, the other not. And like we were in the same space and it just like poops, flips. And you can do experiments with this and you might find that sometimes your reality just flips. But what actually happens is you're tuning your body into a new vibration, and then your perception changes and your whole world will be changing. But the people around you, their world might not be changing, but you're sitting in the same world, and what you're actually bringing about is a kind of dimension shift, and you are welcoming heaven into this earth through your own experience. You're becoming a useful node, a useful component in bringing in the new earth, the new consciousness, the knowing of heaven, which is right here. I love you so much. Please ask me questions. I would love to give further guidance on how to do this wonderful, wonderful shift. Thank you.